건강도 후회하지 않죠. 영원한 건 없으니까. 운명이 넘어왔죠. 거부할 수가 없죠. 내 생애 이처럼 아름다운 날 또다시 올 수 있을까요?
Hey, you know, she's my favorite singer. She's got like 4 or 5 songs that I really like. And I think there's only 1 or 2, this one, that I looked up the words. The other ones I don't. Not yet. And some I've liked for years and I still haven't looked up the words. Just want to let you know, this is the beginning of a series entitled, Am I a Racist? So, there was a vehicle following me on the highway, and the vehicle was following too close, you know, for the speed limit of 90 that I was going. And, you know, if I pulled over at the same place as that person, then they'd say, well, why did you put your four-way flashers a bunch of times, or why did you slow down, or... Because they had many opportunities to pass, but they didn't. They were kind of zonked out without being able to make decisions, and you know, like most of you, and then suddenly when there's 2 lanes, you know, like a passing lane, like a 2-lane that are limited to pass, well, the person then finally decided. And now I could have turned and looked to see, you know, what they look like let's say what ethnicity of origins they might be. And sometimes that ethnicity of origin has been in the same country as me for generations. So, but the thing is cultural patterns were still brought with them. Now that's, you know, assuming that ethnicity of origin driving that vehicle may or may not have been the same as mine. What do you think? Because what happened is when they finally, in the short passing lane, passed me, and I didn't turn my head because I didn't want to know, but also, you know, it wasn't a, you know, particularly good idea at that time to turn my head. You know, like you know, I had to keep looking in the front. Majoritively, I just knew that person had enough space to pass me. And that person didn't look ahead. I wonder if they were both looking at me, because what they did after is they lane changed right when the passing lane was ending. That means they came back to the right when it was the time of the right to come back to the left. So they weren't looking very far ahead. Now, if they did talk to me, I would say, well, guess what ethnicity it was? Well, I didn't look. I can't give you an answer. And I didn't stop at the same place. I didn't try to. But the thing is that it doesn't really matter how I judge people, like whatever skin color or cultures they are, is I judge you guys, the majority of you, through your individual decisions or through cultural patterns that are measurable to be dominant, okay? And that doesn't mean that it's everybody's like this. But when I judge a specific person, let's say that works in a restaurant. Yesterday I went to pay for a restaurant, okay? And the service of a young lady from that ethnicity of origin, which is in India, she's able to judge her culture, right? But her service wasn't great. And today I had breakfast at a place where it's the same place that this young lady's from, and her service was great. So I know not to generalize in this way, but there are patterns that are really, really dominant. And some make it that these patterns are why, let's say, people from the Philippines are leaving, or people from India are leaving India, or people from China are leaving China. Now, when these patterns are legitimate reasons to leave because they're dominant and they're evolutionary dead ends, then why is it okay for everybody that the same behaviors are adopted when they get to another place? Now, when I say this, again, I say this as the professor of socio-cybernetics, a culture repair. It has nothing to do with the color of skin somebody's born with. Now, when somebody's born in an ethnicity of origin that is dominantly self-destructive, and yet still suffers from ethnocentrism, meaning they believe they have so much more than other cultures to offer the world, then, you know, that child will eventually grow up old enough to if they're not like a super domesticate of their parents, be able to make their own choices. And if they decide to make the same choices that are counterproductive to whatever culture they're from, they're in, or they're planned to be in, I will judge you for that. I will judge you for your behaviors. And please judge me for mine.